God never said when the promise would come. A lot of people don't see their promises from God be fulfilled. And the reason why is because they give up on the promise before God has a chance to actually give it to them. When God promises us something, we tend to put our own expectation of when we feel like that promise should happen. So maybe he'll tell you, hey, you're going to be a homeowner. And you'll say, yay, by the end of the year, I'm going to have my first home. And when the end of the year comes and you're still a renter and you're not even in the process of becoming a homeowner, you get discouraged. You feel like God is lying to you and you stop believing for the things that He promised to do for you. And you never see that promise come to pass. In order for you to fulfill God's promises, you have to stop putting an expectation on the promise and you have to start seeking God to figure out when does He want this promise to come to pass. Because remember, God told you that this is something that He plans to do, but He never told you when He planned to do it. You said you wanted it done by the end of the year. You said you wanted it done by next month. You said that you wanted it to happen now, but God never said that that was the time for that promise. There's going to be promises that God gives you that's intended for now, but there's also going to be promises that God gives you that's intended for the future. Just think of the story of David. When David was a child, when he was around the age of 9 years old, Samuel prophesied to him and told him that he would be king. But that didn't happen for years to come. David went through so much before he actually saw the promise of God be fulfilled. So imagine if David put an expectation on God. Imagine if David would have said, okay, you want me to be king now. And then he got disappointed because now wasn't the time for the promise, and he never saw that promise because his expectation killed his faith. God never told you when the promise was going to come to pass. So stop putting your own expectation on it and start seeking God and asking Him, when does He want this to happen in your life? Is this something that you should be working on fulfilling now? Or does He want you to wait? Does He want to do something else? Does He want you to focus on something else before you focus on this specific promise? So I want you to make a decision today. Are you going to continue to put your own expectations on God's promises and be disappointed? Or are you going to start seeking God to understand when He wants to fulfill this promise in your life and follow everything according to His plans? Put in a comment section what you're going to do. And if you need more tips and resources to help you on your journey, make sure that you follow me and also check out my podcast. We're on episode 134. We talked about how God never told you when the promise was going to come. And so if you're interested in checking out my podcast, click the first link in my bio.